Welcome, free people of the world and fellow inmates of Germany and Europe, to your daily Führer, where we give you the latest of the madness that is the new normal Reich, isn't it? I mean, Germany and Europe are sort of on their way into fascism.
Are we there yet?
yeah, we are there. Yeah.
How much longer?
We're well there. A good friend of mine says we're in fascism as soon as we have shooting Genickschussanlagen. That's a very German word. Genickschussanlagen. Like
Beautiful
automated
word.
Killings by shot in the neck. That's what you need for fascism. But the guy's a Marxist.
Sounds fun.
It does. I do believe that we are in fascism anyway, because we have Ursula von der Leyen in charge of the European Union. You ever heard of her?
I did hear of her. Is she the worst fascist we have right now?
Probably, well, not the worst one we had in German history, but she's sort of on top of the, on my personal list, she's very much on top.
She's a good entry point.
Yeah.
That's true.
She declared 2024 as the key year of democracy, Schlüsseljahr der Demokratie. And you know where she did that?
No.
In Bavaria.
no,
yeah,
she
sorry.
didn't.
She did.
No.
She did. She said this year will be the decision-making year for democracy in Europe.
And she announced that in the Kingdom of Bavaria.
True, in the former Kingdom of Bavaria, but in the presence of course,
the king.
Markus
Söder.
Markus Södolf.
Södolf.
You get sued
Umlaut.
if you call him Södolf.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
No,
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, prosecuted, not sued.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Is it?
fine. Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean.
Well, she called the 2024 the key year of democracy, and she said that the decision for democracy in this year, the decisive thing for democracy, will be the war against defamation and, of course, fake news.
Defamation and fake news.
Any idea what she means with fake news and right wing?
I mean, fake news is pretty much everything.
Everything not from the office of Ursula.
That's not from her office or Söder's office.
Careful.
Umlaut, by the way. Important. Umlaut. Ö.
True. Yes, very, very German.
Very German. Yeah. I know. I have no idea what she means by that.
Well, she clarified, and she said that we in Europe. She's always talking about we. It's we. It's we. It's the pluralis majestatis. It's always we. It's never I or ours.
Of course not.
Well, we here in Europe, we have to ban any form of fake news.
Of course we do.
Of course we do. By use, of course, by censorship.
Sure.
But we don't call it censorship.
What else would you use?
We call it the Netzwerkdurchsetzungsgesetz.
Can you say that very slowly?
The Netzwerkdurchsetzungsgesetz.
I'm German and I can't say that.
Yeah, you're German. You're trying to be funny, but you're German, so you're not aware of the fact that you're German.
Netzwerkdurchsetzungsgesetz.
I guess who invented that?
Einstein.
No, 7 CIA directors. No, I'm not kidding.
7 of them.
7 of them, because
what
they're the
unholy number.
They're the Atlantic Council.
Oh,
they're actually. The 7, I think they're chairs or whatever you call them, of the Atlantic Council. Right. Don't take my word for it. Take Mike Bentz's word for it. He's just been on Tucker Carlson, his latest interview. Mike Bentz, the former cyber chief of the Foreign Office of the U.S. government.
Okay.
And he sort of turned on the U.S. government and is now head of the Online Freedom whatever Foundation. He had a 1-hour interview with Tucker Carlson, and he said that he explained that the Netzwerkdurchsetzungsgesetz, which we have in Germany, was actually invented by the Atlantic Council, 7 former CIA directors.
So, bottom line is that the Americans invented something that we actually need to save democracy.
They constantly do that. Right. I mean, that's the one thing Americans do. They spread democracy. Cool. No, but they decided to test their most vile weapon of censorship in Germany. Why? Because this nation is sort of basically a pile of shit. Yeah. Well,
So, and what would that look like in practice? Like, what do they do?
Well, if you ever try to tweet something or X something, like post something on Twitter, that is not declared correct information or an acceptable piece of information by German officials or European officials, the Netzwerkdurchsetzungsgesetz is what forces Twitter to take it offline.
Oh, wow. And did Musk say anything about that?
Yeah, he said he didn't like it. But he complies nevertheless.
Okay. And what is not fake news? What is real news?
Well, anything from the desk of Ursula von der Leyen.
That makes sense.
It does.
Because she,
But of course she has a colleague for that to just take care about all the correct news. And his name is Thierry Breton. He is the
He's not German.
No, he's French. That is always a problem for Germans. Thierry Breton is a former French manager, and I think is a multi-billionaire or something. He's a mobile phone manager, a communications manager. of course, of the French government-owned or government-run
Okay.
communications carrier. And the guy is in charge of, I think, the digital agenda and, of course, censorship. But I think he has a different title.
Is that his official title?
No, censorship not. And he also always speaks of we.
Of course. So it's always us.
It's always us and we.
Except you're not us.
Me?
I mean, if you don't want to be a part of us, you're not us, you're them then. And then they can censor you. Right?
Probably.
The way it works?
Probably.
I don't know.
What's the correct answer? I guess yes.
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 Probably.
Great. Heil Ursula von der Leyen anyway. And congratulations to the Netzwerkdurchsetzungsgesetz.
Absolutely. Congratulations. I hope this works out well.
And we have a German version sort of Ursula von der Leyen. I mean, she is German, but we have another German version in Germany. In the, we're sort of doing the same thing like Ursula von der Leyen. You guess who I'm talking about?
Can I say it?
Please.
Phaser.
Nancy.
Phaser.
Nancy Faeser.
I hardly even know her.
Don't you?
No, phase her. That's a joke. I know I'm not supposed to be funny because I'm German. I know. I'm sorry.
And Nancy just told us how she aims to save democracy this year.
Well, that's easy though, because you just have to ban everything that's right of her.
True, and
then all problems pretty much dissolve.
True.
Into the dream.
Of what? Of Nancy Faeser's dreams. Of us. Nancy explained to us how she aims to make this dream reality.
Right.
It's all about right-wing networks.
Of course. Because that's our biggest problem right now.
Again, I have no idea who she's talking about. It can't be us.
Well, they did arrest a couple of guys last year, right?
True.
Who tried to take over the government.
I think it's even worse. They tried to overthrow the government, I think, and they were trying to erect some kind of imperialistic, antique, crossover fascism version of a German Reich or something. At least that's what Nancy said.
Right. How old were they?
I think their leader, I guess, was in the mid-80s or something.
Right.
and I mean, I think there were 7 of them.
I mean, just think about a world where we didn't have Nancy Faeser then.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be sitting here.
No. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how long we will be sitting here, actually.
Good point.
Well, she said we have to rot out and destroy right-wing networks in Germany. And she has a very precise idea about how she's going to do that. She learned from the best.
CIA.
No, Justin Trudeau. I remember when they defunded the truckers. And they blocked their bank accounts.
Yeah.
That's what Nancy's going to do with your account.
With my account?
Yes.
But I'm not a trucker.
No, but you're a right-wing extremist.
True. That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, she'll make you remember.
Is she going to defund like farmers? I mean, because they're all right-wing.
Yes.
Because they were up in the streets and demonstrating and stuff. I mean, they have to be right-wing.
True. Well, it depends on which farming organization they belong to or which lobby organization. Because, as always in Germany, Heil, there's an official government-accepted lobby organization of farmers. I think it's called the Bauernverband. True.
Yeah.
Verband der Bauern, Bauernverband? Bauernverband. That's the official one. And the Bauernverband constantly blames the farmers for being too right-wing, right, when they protest against the government.
Right.
And they want them to protest against the government while being for the government. Again, we're not joking. This is actually true.
My brain hurts. When I say right because you said something true, is that right-wing?
Yes.
Sorry.
So when you're a German farmer, you're not allowed to do anything that is not officially accepted or declared acceptable by the Bauernverband. And if you do, you're a right-wing extremist.
Does make sense. How does she, like for regular people and their networks, how does she find out if something's right-wing? Like who's the Zünglein an der Waage there?
The domestic intelligence service helps her. What Nancy Faeser just said is that she takes the domestic intelligence service, so the Geheimdienst, the secret service.
That works for,
sorry?
Remind me?
It's Nancy Faeser. She's the boss of that thing.
Just, yeah.
And it's totally different from all the other intelligence services out there over the world. Well, not North Korea, of course, but in Germany, we know that. We have an intelligence service that is actually focused on German citizens.
Of course.
It's not counterintelligencing anything. It's not hunting spies from abroad. It's actually...
Who would spy? I mean, at this point, who would spy? Like what?
Like, yeah, if you want to know all about shit. If you want to know all about shit.
All about shit, yeah. Check out Germany, man.
We do have beer. We do have beer. Prost. No, she said that they're going to use the domestic intelligence, the Bundesverfassungsschutz, to actually find out who owns the bank accounts of people who donate to right-wing extremists, such as yourself.
If you want to donate,
you do
no
that,
problem.
please. Yeah, just not from Germany. Shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So well, that makes sense then.
Does it?
Yeah, because then you catch all the right wingers, and then all we're left with is left wingers.
Democrats. The opposite of right-wing extremists is Democrats.
It's not left.
No.
That would be my next question. Do they consider themselves left?
No.
Still?
No,
right?
Democrats.
Okay, so Democrats
good
and right wing.
Ethical, good people, Democrats.
Okay.
And right-wing extremists. I think the extremist is important.
Extremist is important.
That's very important, yeah. She always calls the rest of the non-democratic people who just basically members of her party, calls them extremists. Yeah.
Which is an insult.
Is it?
I mean, technically it is. Because you can call somebody radical. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Radicals are fine in a democracy. Extremists, not so much. I mean, if you're an extremist, somebody can actually sue you.
You think that she doesn't like extremists?
She might.
She gives you a certain vibe that she doesn't like people.
She gives me a certain vibe that she doesn't like herself very much.
That could be very true if you actually look at her. I mean, just and she likes, of course, she likes these arm. What is Armbinde? What is Armbinde in
that has to be the
armband.
Most German word.
Armbinde.
Unfortunately, Armbinde. It's
actually introduced from Austria. The small guy with the mustache from Austria. He was the one who was really much into armbands.
He was really much into those, but Faeser is as well.
Yeah, she is.
But hers says
one love.
One love.
One love.
Because there's only one love.
There is it? Is there?
I don't know.
There are infinite combinations of infinite diversity, of course, and we celebrate every one of that because you know, dudes can be girls and girls can be dudes nowadays, just with cocks, and just so the girls can have cocks.
Of course,
that's what Ricky Gervais said, and he loves them. I totally agree. Yes, he said Ricky Gervais says he likes the new kind of girls, the one with cocks. He totally hates the old version, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, she said she's going to defund right-wing extremists.
Yep.
Who donate to organizations that she considers extreme, and she differentiated. She said the organization, that right-wing extremist organization that receives the donation, that's the old right, the right extremist, and there's a new right.
There's a new right.
Yeah, there is.
Would that translate to what they have in America? Hello, America.
No, the new right would be people watching this from Germany. Those are the new rights.
That's the new right.
That's the new right. She said they have a hinge function hinge function, a Scharnierfunktion.
Yeah, klar.
Mm-hmm. For the right-wing extremists. So we would be the right-wing extremists in this picture, and viewers of the show would be the new right.
New right.
Yes, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm correct.
Is this the same than like alt-right?
Very good question. I guess if you know about alt-right, you are a right-wing extremist.
For somebody who grew up in the 90s.
Yep. Like don't flatter yourself.
We now label right-wing the whole diverse spectrum of right-wingers. Diversity again.
Right-wing extremist. You're getting there. You're getting there with love.
I'm trying to learn here. I'm trying to learn here. One love. We label them like we used to label like rock music. Like it's like new rock and alt rock. True. Can we have like grunge right?
That's another question you have to ask Nancy. I have this feeling that at some point we can. Actually, I invited a colleague of hers many times, the Secretary for Health, the Gesundheitsminister.
Oh, I love him.
He returned my mails just once.
He did.
He said he didn't have time. Really? I can show you the mail. The guy was at least he was polite in this one instance.
That's nice.
Anyway, Nancy said we're gonna spy on all those people who donate, and she said literally, nobody donating to right-wing extremists can be sure that he is not uncovered. That's all she said. Right. Subtext, we're going to close your bank account. And she explained that, how she's going to do that. It was not a subtext, but was pretty much direct text, because she said the public prosecutors are now going to get the information from the domestic intelligence, something that was completely forbidden in the past, because out of some historical reasons, Germans thought it would not be a good idea to have a combination of a police force and a secret police.
Can't think of anything.
Me neither.
Think of anything.
So they're gonna abolish this separation, and they're gonna go back to I don't know. We're gonna go to, if there ever has been an historic precedent for this, they're gonna go back to that.
Cool.
And they're gonna close those bank accounts just by order of a public prosecutor. No judge involved anymore.
It takes a lot of time with the judges, though. I mean,
they're a hassle.
she has a point.
Yeah.
She has a point. Plus, also, I mean, if she wants to go the extra mile, I mean, our Bundeswehr, which is our army.
No, that is the German substitute for an army.
It's the kindergarten version of an actual army.
Actually, soldiers say that it's made for just distracting the enemy until a real army approaches.
I have a friend who was in the army.
I'm a veteran, man.
You're a veteran.
I'm a veteran. I'm a decorated veteran.
Thank you for your service.
You're very welcome.
Well, he said he was talking about his pistol that they issued him.
Yeah.
And he said, well, the good thing about this pistol is that you had 18 warning shots and then you had a deadly throw. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Not
we
welcome.
could use that army for something good then. We could use it like inside the country then.
I think we're rapidly approaching that point where it is going to be used inside the country. Just sort
I
of,
mean, they were thinking about it during COVID, right?
yes. They're not. No, they've gone far past that. We had a Bundeswehr general in charge of the COVID emergency or crisis staff, General Breuer, and he is now Breuer, and he's now Joint Chief of Staff, Generalinspektor. Generalinspektor. That's the top level.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so disaster relief or countermeasure are already under military control. And they just installed a so-called territorial command for Germany. We never had that. To coordinate Bundeswehr operations on German soil. Because out of some reasons, they think they're going to need that. I have no idea why.
I mean, it can't hurt, right?
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? Come on.
Well, there's one thing that could happen.
Okay.
In the very near future, because there's this one party here that really gives these people a headache in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
The major opposition, but actually it's the only oppositional party. Would you agree? It's the only
It is the only, well, yeah.
Technically not.
Technically not, but yeah, it is. Of course it is.
Because we have sort of we have one classical opposition party here in Germany. It's the CDU. It's
CDU.
the Christian Democratic Union. They're more or less, or they consider themselves more or less equivalent to the Republicans, I guess.
They, do they though?
I think they do.
Do they still?
They just recently visited this guy from Florida who tried to run for president, Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSantis.
A high-level delegation went over to Ron DeSantis, and they more or less literally said, "We are the Republicans of Germany."
No.
Yeah, I think he gave them 5 minutes of his time before he quit the race against Trump.
I mean, just to explain this, the CDU, the
Christian Democratic Union.
Union,
You're welcome.
used to be conservative
Oh, yeah.
party, the
Absolutely.
conservative, biggest
Yeah.
conservative Volkspartei
Yeah.
in Germany, until all of a sudden during a 16-year period, we won't talk about.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Wait a second. Out of nowhere. It just turned into a left-wing party. Pretty much.
Maybe that was because the head of the party, who was also chancellor at the time, was a former socialist Marxist functionary of the GDR, of the last left-wing dictatorship in Germany.
You and your ideas.
Maybe it was because of Angela Merkel.
That probably was. Danke, Merkel. We have a saying in Germany, it's Danke, Merkel.
Or Mutti.
Thank you, Mutti.
Many call them.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's the CDU. That's technically the largest oppositional party, but like just from what they do, they're more or less the same thing in another color. And then there's of course the evil itself, the so-called.
Green. No, you would go somewhere else.
I'm talking about the opposition.
The opposition.
Evil itself, the opposition. It's called the Alternative for Germany, AfD, Alternative für Deutschland. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are proclaimed to be the major enemy
For
officially.
democracy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the standard for democracy in Germany is Nancy Faeser.
Because they're right.
Right-wing extremists.
Right-wing extremists.
You're getting there.
Are they new right? No.
No, they're very old right.
Old right.
Yes, I think in Nancy Faeser's spectrum. And Nancy Faeser and her Secretary of the Interior actually just officially published a picture, the so-called BMI wish tree. So it's not body mass index. That would, yeah.
Got me scared here for a second.
No, she knows all about that. But it's also the abbreviation for German Ministry of the Interior, Bundesministerium des Inneren.
Yeah.
And they officially published this picture of their tree of wishes, and one of the items on there was a concrete strategy against the Alternative für Deutschland. So it's actually the office of the Ministry of the Interior officially proclaiming the oppositional party an enemy and just spending tax money to devise a strategy against that.
Yeah.
That's Germany 2024.
I mean, they also had these rallies organized, pretty much organized by.
Oh yeah.
By the government.
No, there were not. No, people went there all on their own.
All on their own. I mean, I'm
Spontaneously.
sorry, no, they all
Democrats.
spontaneously. Everybody assembled to rally against the right.
Correct.
And then also the Scholz, our
The
chancellor,
acting chancellor or the present chancellor?
and his favorite girlfriend, Baerbock.
Oh yeah, Secretary of the of State.
They both went,
Mm-hmm.
and they rallied against the right, which means they rallied against their opposition.
Correct.
Which is so. At this point, the government tells us what to rally against.
And of course, just because it's Germany, public schools, which 99% of the schools in Germany, people here go to government-funded or state-funded schools.
Because only right-wingers homeschool.
True. There is some truth in that if you look at Austria. Anyway, these public schools, they actually gave their children or their pupils a free time or time off to take part in these demonstrations.
It's like
We have proof of that. We have emails.
It's like the demonstrations against climate change.
True. They also officially gave them time off, and they proclaimed that taking part in these demonstrations is like having school classes in real life. And the school laws, which are just state organized in Germany, they have paragraph 1 says that schools should always just cover the present discussions in society. So, they made very clear that you're allowed to go to the pro-governmental demonstrations.
Of course.
But of course, if you go to the anti-government organizations,
Not
you
so
are,
much.
quote, just like as in 1933, which was the year of
What was in 1930?
something happened with an Austrian guy about yay
Really?
big. Yeah. Mustache.
Really?
Yeah, you had
Okay.
this mustache.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Well, that's what they wrote. And this AfD is needs to be destroyed, more or less, literally. And there is an instrument for that in Germany, which was, I think, used once or twice in the past. It's called Parteienverbot.
Parteienverbot.
Might you explain that?
Parteienverbotsverfahren.
Very good.
Yeah, well, if a party is actually trying to undermine democracy or our values in our democracy and is dangerous to that democracy, you can pretty much, how would you say that?
Ban it or just prohibit it.
Ban it, but you have to, it's a whole thing. It's not like you can just say ban it. It takes forever. But still...
Well, I'm quite sure that it will.
It won't.
Well, yeah, in the
It's
past
supposed to take. It's supposed to take forever.
Yeah, the process is quite difficult.
It's not really, it shouldn't be.
It's just very loosely maybe comparable to impeachment of the U.S. president, but it's even more complicated because you actually have, I think, 4 or 5 judges or something of the highest German court, the constitutional court. They are someone of the government has to bring this case to court, has to ask the court to prohibit this party, and then the court decides on the party prohibition. And normally that doesn't work because they are extremely high standards for prohibiting an oppositional party, which is strange, is there?
It's super weird. It's
very
It's
un-German.
almost like a democracy needs an opposition,
Yeah, you could
which
take
is an
that.
annoyance.
So in this case, the government has been talking about banning the AfD for I think 10 years or so. No, not really, but 1 or 2 years.
Yeah,
The better of 2 years, right?
something
And there's always speculation in German media. Is there going to be a Parteienverbotsverfahren, ein Antrag für ein Parteienverbotsverfahren or not? What do you think?
Just to clarify real quick, the numbers of the Alternative für Deutschland are through the roof.
Oh no, they're irrelevant more or less. It's just a third of German voters.
right.
Yeah.
They actually today, I think, was that today where they said that the numbers are going down rapidly?
Yeah, it's free
like-
falling.
Right. Yeah.
2% or something, right? Drop
Yeah,
2%.
Drop 2% or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so it's about a third of German voters are actually voting. And we have a lot of state elections this year in Germany. The most important one, I guess, are those in Thuringen.
Thuringen.
Thuringia, that's somewhere in central
Thuringia?
Germany.
Is that the English word for Thuringen?
Thuringia.
Thuringia.
What's Braunschweig in English? No, I'm not testing it. I'm not being an asshole right now.
Be an asshole, come on.
No, there's just one little party info I have. Anyway, Anyway, there are elections in Thuringia and in Saxony, of course, and in Brandenburg, which is my last name. That's Brandenburg. This is a great state. Actually, it's sort of the Idaho of it's sort of a flyover state, or it's like Wisconsin or something, right?
I think it's called Bumfuck, Iowa.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's a flyover state anyway. Let's be nice. Be nice. Yeah. It's our first show, and. Anyway, there are elections in, I think, these 3 states, and we have European elections, which are a story of the
Wait, you mean they are elected?
No, it's more complicated.
Okay.
Yes, you do send sort of members of a so-called parliament to Brussels, but it's not really a parliament. They don't have the rights of a parliament. It's not, well, anyway.
But we still vote, so we have a vote.
Yeah, well, some people do vote, and well, it's a different topic. Anyway, we have these state-level elections in Germany now, these 3, in September. Yep. And guess who's going to be like the, I don't know, landslide winner of them in Thuringia and Saxony?
It's not going to be the CDU.
No.
It's not going to be the Green Party as well.
Correct.
It's not going to be...
Yeah, don't drag it out. Yeah.
Okay, it's the AfD.
Right. Like, with a big difference to the next one. And so now they're really openly speculating about prohibiting and banning the AfD right before it's going to take 2 states. And we only have 16, 24. How many states do we have? There are 16 old states, of course. I think it's the 10 neue Bundesländer. So we have 26. Oh my God.
We have to fact check that.
Wow.
Fake news right there.
We actually have school degrees, right?
I don't.
You do? You
I
don't?
No.
Oh. I guess me neither after the show. So anyway, they're approximately, they're below 30 states in Germany. And
a couple.
2 of them, and Saxony is actually quite an important one because they do make a plus, so the economy is still not completely broken down there, which is another topic for another podcast. But they're going to win these states, that is pretty sure. And actually one of the most so-called radical politicians of them all, Björn Höcke, who's a really important guy in Germany because he's sort of our Donald Trump on a national level, but of course way worse. He's just, according to the Secretary of the Interior, he's more or less Adolf Hitler, I guess. No, that's Putin right now.
Right now it's Putin, yeah. After the interview, it's Putin for sure. Because he's not only a warmonger, he's also a liar.
Also,
I read that today. He's a liar.
Is he?
Well,
that is mean. I mean, I could deal with warmonger, but a liar.
Liar.
Anyway,
just stop calling me a liar.
So there's Björn Höcke, which is sort of the worst figure in German politics, according to the Green Party and the Democrats, and they're going to win. So people are discussing whether or not they're going to have the Verbotsantrag, and something just happened that makes that very likely from my point of view.
You think so?
Yeah. That they're really going to introduce this Verbotsantrag. They're really going to try it.
You mean because of the other party?
That Werteunion thing. Yeah. I think
explain yourself.
It's difficult to explain, but actually it's not.
You mean like because it's me?
No. Because it's an audience that from a very another place that I think it's difficult to really conceive the concept of German politics and the fact that this country still calls itself a democracy. Anyway, we have a former chair of the Interior Secret Police, the Inlandsgeheimdienst, der Verfassungsschutz, like the predecessor of the present one who is hunting down donors to people like us. Yep. His predecessor just founded a party which was instantly declared a threat to democracy, and a right-wing radical party. And this guy, his name is Maaßen, Hans-Georg Maaßen, the former chair of that secret intelligence agency, that domestic intelligence. Yep. He just founded a new party, which is called Werteunion, like that would translate to Value Union. And he regards himself to be the successor of the CDU. Yeah, that's their official program.
Like a Christian
Democratic Union,
conservative.
That's the former opposition party we just talked about. So what he said over weeks and months before I founded the party, that he's going to seek a coalition with the AfD, with this other oppositional party. So people expected this to be sort of an addition to the AfD spectrum.
At least he said he's talking to everybody.
True. Because
this is something we would have to explain, because every party in Germany has what we call a Brandmauer.
Of course, yeah, that's very important.
It's a flame wall.
Yeah, firewall.
A firewall. Thank you. Yeah. There's a word for that.
You're a coder, right?
I'm actually a coder, and I should know.
A German coder.
A Feuerwehr. So every party pretty much declared that they are not going to work together with the AfD. Never. They would never. Under no circumstances are we talking with them.
Correct. Because we only talk to Democrats.
Right. And the Werteunion, the Value Union, was the first party who declared we are actually going to talk to them. Because we talk to everybody, and it would make sense for some people. So, yeah.
Because these crazy people think that is what a democracy should be all about.
Like people talking to each other?
Yeah. with different.
Crazy.
I'm going too far here. Anyway, and the guy just sort of more or less backed out of his promise.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't understand what happened there.
Well, it's easy. He just gave an interview and said, nah, he's really concerned about the rise of the AfD. And his ideal partner for a coalition would be the CDU.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said premium partner.
Premium partner. And that would be okay. I mean, it's okay for a party head to be concerned about the rise of another party. But this strange little fact that he is the former chief of the domestic intelligence and he still has probably very active connections to his former colleagues could lead you to the belief that he might be informed about things going on in German politics.
Interestingly, the party that is his premium partner,
the CDU,
is his former party.
True.
Which he left because he thought it wasn't the party that he wanted to be a part of.
True, because it was not conservative enough, and he called it a left-wing radical party.
Did you see what Krall X'd, tweeted, whatever, after that? And he said, for all of you who have a divorce or had a divorce in their life, did you ever consider your ex-wife a premium partner?
Well, that's another story, but yeah, there are those moments, to be honest. Well, not with the president. Oh my God.
Digging deep.
Yeah, no. Anyway, yeah, well, the guy just backed out more or less recently and said, no, he's really concerned about the rise of the AfD. And he would have the CDU being his premium partner. So speculations are running wild whether or not this Verbotsantrag is going to come very soon now. Wouldn't take a bet on that? Yeah, yay, nay?
Yeah, yay, but I mean, at what point? Okay, here's a question. I mean, and this is a question for international audiences, because I think every country, and look at France, look at the States. I think every.
Do you consider France a country? Oh, yeah, maybe.
I just wanted to be nice.
Yeah. Be nice.
Jesus. Where was my train of thought here? I think every country has a tipping point where actually the people don't play along anymore.
You're talking about Germany right now?
That's my question. Does Germany have such a point?
No, next question.
Okay, cool.
No.
Okay. So then, yes, they're going to do it, and then...
And I think that wraps it up for this week, right? That's pretty much...
Going out on a funny note.
Yeah. Yeah, well, anyway, although we are German, but yeah, well, at least we're trying. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Join us next week, if there's going to be a next week in Germany, and if the Netzwerkdurchsetzungsgesetz will make that possible. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.